Hello all, we belong to the team Tech Croods, which composed of 5 members, Lakshya, Praveen, myself, Samyukta and Vignesh. Let me start with the definition of sensors. There are numerous definitions as to what a sensor is, but I would like to define a sensor as they are the devices or machines used to detect the presence of any physical object in the environment and send the information about the same to the receiving end. The device is mostly used with other electronic devices. Sensors are the heart of a measurement system. Next, we move on to the characteristics of sensor. A good sensor should possess the following characteristics. First one is high sensitivity. Sensitivity refers to the change in output with respect to the changes in input. Next, the linearity. The changes in output should be linear with respect to changes in the input. Next one is the high resolution. Resolution is the smallest change in the input that the device can detect. And the last one is it should possess less noise and disturbance. Next, we move on to the classification of sensors. In the first classification of sensors, they are divided into active and passive sensors. Active sensors are those which requires an external power, whereas the passive sensors doesn't require any external power. The other type of classification is based on the means of detection used in the sensor. Some of the means of detections are electric, biological, chemical, and radioactive. And the next classification is based on conversion phenomenon, that is the input and output changes. Some of the common conversion phenomena are photoelectric, thermoelectric, electrochemical, electromagnetic, and thermoptic. The final classification of sensors are analog and digital sensors. Analog sensors produce a continuous output signal, whereas the digital sensors produce a discrete signal. Next, the types of sensors will be explained by other team members.
Temperature sensor. It can be both analog or digital. In analog type, the changes are reflected in its physical properties. In digital types, the output is a digital value, either 0 or 1. It is used widely in computers, mobile phones, automobiles, air conditioning systems, industries, etc. The second one is proximity sensor. It detects the presence of an object. It is implemented using techniques like optical, using infrared or laser sound, or sound waves like ultrasonic waves, or magnetic using Hall effect, or capacitive. It is widely used in mobile phones, cars, especially in parking sensors, in industries for object alignment and ground proximity in aircrafts. The next one is infrared sensor. It is a light-based sensor that are used in various applications like proximity and object detection. It is widely used in mobile phone, robots, industrial assembly, automobiles, etc. There are two types of IR sensors. One is transmissive type and the other one is reflective type. And this picture is an example of IR reflective sensor. And the following sensors will be explained by Shamyukta.
First, we are going to see about an ultrasonic sensor. An ultrasonic sensor is an electronic device that measures the distance of a target object by emitting ultrasonic sound waves and converts the reflected sound into an electrical signal. It travels faster than the speed of audible sound. Ultrasonic sensors have one is transmitter receiver. Emits the sound using piezoelectric crystals and receiver which encounters the sound after it has traveled to target. Calculate the distance between the sensor and the object. The sensor measures the time it takes between the receiver. This calculation is d is equal to half into t into c, where d is the distance and t is which is approximately 343 meters per second. Ultrasonic sensors are used prime proximity sensors. They can be found in automobile self-heating technology, collision safety systems. Ultrasonic sensors are also used in robotic obstacle detection systems as well as. Next, we're going to see about light sensor. A light sensor is a photoelectric device that puts light energy, photons detected to the electrical energy, electrons. It has three different types of, there are three different types of light sensors. First is photoresistors. A high resistance semiconductor material called cadmium sulfide cells highly sensitive to the visible and the near infrared light is made this resistor. Next is photodiodes. Photodiodes are another type of light sensor, but instead of using the change in the resistance like LDR, it's more complex to light, easily changing light into a flow of electric current. It is also called as photosensor. Next is phototransistors. The last sensor type is phototransistor. Uh, Phototransistor. It can be described as photodiode plus amplifier. With the added amplification, light sensitivity is far better on the phototransistors. Uh, light sensors are commonly used in consumer electronics, automobiles, phone, gadgets, and agricultural usages. And also it is used in security applications such as shipment cargos. They are used. Next is gas sensor, smoke and gas sensor. It is also known as gas detectors, which are electronic devices that detect and identify different types of gases. They are commonly used to detect toxic or explosive gases and measures the gas concentration. When it detects any gas or smoke around them, they set an alarm or they send alert notifications. Gas sensors are employed in factory manufacturing facilities to identify the gas leaks and to detect smoke and carbon monoxide emissions. Uh, Gas sensors vary widely in size, sensing a part of a larger embedded system such as hazmat and security systems, and they are normally connected to an audible interface. Because gas sensors are constantly interacting with air and other gases, they have to be calibrated more often than many other type of sensors. Next will be continued by Vignesh.
Alcohol sensor. An alcohol sensor detects the attentiveness of alcohol gas in the air. The sensor can activate at temperatures ranging from -10 to 50 degrees Celsius. The sensing range is from 0.04 milligram per liter to 4 milligram per liter, which is suitable for breathalyzer. There are different types of alcohol sensors like MQ2, MQ3, MQ4, MQ5, etc. Out of this, MQ3 is one of the most commonly used sensor in the MQ sensor series. It is a metal oxide semiconductor type of sensor. It has a good change of resistance of sensing materials when exposed to alcohol. So, by placing it in a simple voltage divider network, alcohol concentration can be detected. MQ3 alcohol sensor works on 5 volt DC and draws around 800 megawatt. It alcohol concentrations anywhere from 25 to 500 ppm. Next, touch sensor. A touch sensor is an electronic sensor used in detecting and recording physical touch. Also, it is known as tactile sensor. It is a small, simple, and low-cost sensor. They can be found in lamps, touch screens of our smartphones, and other wide range of applications as well. It is used in trackpads in laptops. It is classified into resistive and capacitive. Nowadays, all modern touch sensors are of capacitive types, which is more accurate and have better signal to noise ratio. Next sensor. Color sensor. A color sensor is a type of photoelectric sensor which emits light from a transmitter and then detects the light reflected back from the detection object with a receiver. A color sensor can detect the received light in intensity for red, blue, and green respectively making it possible to determine the color of the targeted object. It is used in building color sensing applications in the field of image processing, color identification, industrial object tracking, etc. The TCS 3200 is a simple color sensor which can detect any color and output a square wave proportional to the wavelength of the detected color. Next will be continued by Lakshya.
Next comes the humidity sensor, which measures the relative humidity, in which relative humidity means the ratio of water content in air to maximum potential of air to hold the water. So relative humidity is usually dependent on the temperature of sensor. Hence, most of the humidity sensors can be useful for measuring the temperature. And humidity sensors are usually classified into capacitive type, resistive type, and thermal conductive type, which differ in their performance. And two commonly used humidity sensors are the DHT11 and DHT22 sensor. Which is used to detect the inclination or orientation. And one of the simplest and inexpensive sensors is the tilt sensor. It is made up of mercury, and hence they are sometimes called as the mercury switches. But most modern tilt sensors contain a roller ball in it to detect the inclination or orientation. And let us see a real-time application of sensors, which is the AutoPilot system. So most of the aircrafts have the feature of automatic flight control system, which uses a number of sensors to monitor the height, to control the speed, to track the position, and to monitor the temperature, location, and so on. These sensors provide data in which the computer takes all these data and processes them by comparing them with the pre-designed values. So the computer provides control signals to the actuators present in the flight system, namely engines, wings, and allows them to perform correctly according to the pre-designed values. So the number of sensors when it comes to an automation system like AutoPilot system, these sensors work all together to perform well. And this is a very simple example in which in real time there would be a number of control systems to function, to make an automated system to function properly efficiently.